Alright, so the last couple days I've been focusing on discontinued fragrances. Yesterday I did a video called Why Do Fragrances Get Discontinued? And in that video I also featured several of my favorite discontinued fragrances. In addition to that video, I also aired a video on the Bottega Veneta discontinued Parco Palladiano collection of fragrances. So today I've got two more videos. This is the first of two videos. Each one is focused on a different brand and their fragrances being discontinued. And of course today I'm talking about Commodity discontinuing 3 of their fragrances. One of them is one of my favorites of this house. And I thought this would outlast the Feve Delicious. Tonka is discontinued from Commodity. It was a major love of mine, but just recently found out it's discontinued. Well, anyway, it's discontinued. I'm going to let you know about this plus 2 additional fragrances that are discontinued from Commodity, all coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, there are fragrances that are getting discontinued, and this one I found out via an email. I subscribed to them because I bought from them in the past, and they sent an email. They were doing some kind of a promotion. I believe they're changing their bottles. They're going through some kind of a facelift, and they were getting rid of all their old stock so they can bring on the new bottles. And it also said, so they were doing like a buy one get one free promotion, which I took advantage of. And in that same email it said, we are sorry to see them go away, like something like that, we hate to say goodbye. And it said that Tonka, T, and Orris are being axed. So maybe those were not popular sellers. I don't know why the reason these got discontinued, but they are discontinued. I don't know if you guys are signed up to Commodity and you took advantage of the buy one get one free. It was a great deal. If you buy one fragrance, you get one other fragrance equal value for less. It's like an amazing deal, I thought. So I took advantage of them, but sadly, these 3 fragrances are still discontinued. I'm going to let you know all about them in case you can still buy them and you're fans of them, things like that. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I also want to let you know I do have a discount code in the info box for Commodity fragrances and a link to their website. You can always go there and check out with my discount code. But I want to kind of give you an overview of how I discovered the brand. I first discovered the brand back in 2014. In fact, I was looking back at my old emails. I had communication with the folks at Commodity while they were running their brand out of LA. And a few years later, it moved to like London and New York somehow. Then they launched a little bigger and they were at Sephora. But in 2019, they went bankrupt. And then in 2020, they were bought out by a distributor of fragrances. And now in 2021, they're discontinuing a few fragrances. I believe they're going to bring a few additional fragrances, and they're doing a redesign as well. So we'll see what happens with the brand. But sadly, Tonka is discontinued. 3 fragrances are discontinued, and 2 out of the 3 were fragrances that I really, really loved from this house, Tonka and T. So when I went to take advantage of their buy one get one free promotion, T was completely gone. So this is how much I have left of the T that I've had for quite some time. And it's a really, really cozy, lightly floral tea. But Tonka was the one I thought would stay around. I mean, I've done videos where some of my sales associates at Neiman Marcus told me Feve was discontinued. And I've got videos comparing the two. They're very similar. But sure enough, I can still order this from Saks in New York City. They still sell them, so I do occasionally contact them. Sal at New York City Saks will help you with this fragrance or any Privé collection fragrance from Dior. But Tonka, for me, is a similar fragrance, but different at the same time. I get a little more aromatic, and I also get a little bit more cacao qualities with this one, and it's a little drier, whereas this one does have light syrupy touches. But this Tonka features notes of tonka beans, benzoin, Almonds, Sandalwood, Cardamom, Peru, Balsam, Artemisia, Magnolia. You know, I should also say it kind of lightly hints at something like Naxos from Xerjoff. And even though they don't mention lavender here, I feel like there might be a little bit of lavender because I pick up a little lavendery-ness in there, but what a great fragrance this is. I love its coziness. It's a great gourmandish kind of a tonka bean fragrance, and I love this note as a gourmand more than other usages. You know, here they've used it perfectly, and you've got the almonds in here, and of course benzoin, vanillic touches and things like that. It's really, really delicious. So sadly it's discontinued, and I don't know what they have stock or how much stock they have left of Tonka. I would take advantage of it if you're a fan of it. I mean, if you're a fan of this, you would definitely like this one, but then again, there are people that say something is a little different than the other and they might not like it, but they're pretty close to me. So it's a sad day that this is discontinued. As I said, it's one of my all-time favorites from Commodity, and I now have 2 backup bottles because I did take advantage of their buy one get one free, and I bought 1 Tonka and got another for free. So that was a great promotion. So I think this particular bottle retails for about $130, so that cost me about, what, $65 for each bottle, so that's a great deal. So this collection, which also includes Orris, is the highest price collection. This, on the other hand, in the white bottle, is $105, so sadly there weren't any of this left, unfortunately. But this is a great tea experience. I don't know if you can buy backups anywhere else, but I believe when the brand, you know, folded in 2019, there were a lot of stock left, and people were buying them at really, really massive discounted prices at places like, you know, Marshalls and TJ Maxx, I believe, because I think once they folded, a lot of the stock was shipped from Sephora's to the discounters. So I've heard people mention that they found great deals on these. So if there are deals on there still out there somewhere and you are a fan of tea, check this one out. But this one features loads of oolong, tea, honey, basil, tobacco, fresh, uplifting, sweet and warm touches with this one. And it's really, really a great, pleasant fragrance wearing experience. It's cozy. It's personally, I think it's a fall fragrance. It wears like a fall fragrance. It's got the sweet, warm touches. And, you know, sometimes it's warm out and cool at the same time. And I kind of feel like this particular concentration or the way this fragrance wears is just perfect for fall. Sad I don't have a larger bottle of this one. This is all I have left. But let me know if you're a fan of tea from Commodity. If you have a bottle and you, or have a backup bottle. I'm not asking for your bottle. I don't need to buy a backup bottle of that one, sadly. But it is a great tea fragrance. But also, let me know if you're a fan of Tonka. Tonka, actually, out of the 3 I'm talking about today, is the favorite. I absolutely love Tonka, and glad there were backup bottles of Tonka left. But the 3rd fragrance I want to let you know about that's discontinued is Orris. Now, Orris, on the other hand, is a very buttery, powdery Orris, so it's iris. It's the root of the iris flower is what's used in perfumery, and it's got a major butteriness with this particular fragrance, but it has a spicy and floral touches in here as well. So it features notes of Orris, pink pepper, lily of the valley, tea, coriander, bergamot, vanilla, patchouli, cedar, and vetiver. So you experience a lot of those notes. It's ultra powdery, but you are experiencing the butteriness. There is definitely a lightly buttery touch in there. And I'm also picking up some soapiness, and I think I'm getting that from that lily of the valley note in here. So I wasn't the biggest fan of this fragrance. It was, you know, it wasn't a bad fragrance. It wasn't like one of the ones like Tonka that was calling me, you know? There are certain fragrances that call me. This one wasn't, so I did not buy a backup bottle of this one. I believe there were some, and I still have this much in here. Am I disappointed it's discontinued? Yeah, I hate to see fragrances go, but this one's not disappointing me. The one that really disappointing me is Tonka, and of course I have my backup bottles of that one. But Orris, on the other hand, might be a favorite of yours if you like the idea of iris, powdery Orris. And again, as I said, there is this something soapy, clean, spicy in here, and I think I'm getting that from that lily of the valley, and it contrasts beautifully with that buttery, powdery Orris note, which this particular fragrance is, focused on, the Orris, and it's called Orris, obviously. Either way, sad all 3 of these fragrances are going, but let me know if you're you're a fan of these 3 fragrances. Do you have them? Do you have backup bottles? Again, as I said, I do have a link to commodity fragrances in the info box, and there's a discount code there as well. If you're curious, go check them out. And I'm now anticipating to see what new fragrances they're going to come out with, what their branding is going to look like. I do like the brand. I've been a fan since 2014, as I said. The very first bottle I bought was whiskey. Whiskey's no longer around, but although they brought it back in a mini late last year with no longer the name of whiskey. If there's a video on the channel, go catch that. But that was the very first fragrance I bought. I bought that, and I bought a whole bunch of samples, feminine samples and masculine samples. At the time, they were, gender specific. I don't think they are anymore. And of course, I had shot a video for my older channel. Sadly, that video is no longer, but I had given my, first impressions and thoughts of that whole entire collection at the time. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video on another another brand's discontinued fragrances. Are you a fan of commodity? Do you have any of their fragrances? Let me know which ones you have. Are you a fan of these 3? Do you own backup bottles? Put a comment down so I can find out. As I said, yesterday I did 2 videos on discontinued fragrances. Go catch those if you haven't. Stay tuned for one more video today of more discontinued fragrances from another brand, but that will be the end of the discontinued fragrances theme on this channel. But either way, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.